Hey, everybody, welcome to the Marketing Mirror podcast. My name is Matt Bork, and I'm a partner, chief creative, and listening officer at One Group Agency. I'm so thankful that you're here. This podcast exists to cut through the noise and to give you real, actionable insights that you can actually use in your marketing. So, whether you're a small business owner, a marketing professional, or you're working inside a corporate team, the goal is the same: to create marketing that actually connects. If you love what you hear, be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts, including YouTube or wherever you get your podcast content. This episode, like every single one, is brought to you by the One Group Agency, and I'm proud to be a partner at the agency, and I'm incredibly proud of our team. If you haven't checked us out, go to the og.co, see who we are, and connect with us on any of the social platforms that you are active on. We have the most phenomenal team, and we do everything from social media management to production to digital marketing to web development to creative to 360 campaigns and everything in between. I also want to be fully transparent with you. My goal of this podcast is to add real value to your life. So whether I have guests on or I'm sharing insights from client conversations, on location experiences, or just research I've done, every single episode is designed with you in mind and to give you practical tools that you can apply right away. So if I happen to look down, it's because I have notes and I want to make sure that I hit the key points and simplify everything so that by the end of the episode, you can actually apply what you've learned and hopefully it's going to lighten your load. So let's jump right in. Okay, so let's be real. You're putting out content, you're running ads, maybe even using AI to crank out posts at scale, but something seems off. Your engagement's low, your audience isn't responding, and you're wondering, what am I doing wrong? Take a breath, because I have been there and a lot of us have been there. Let me tell you something that might surprise you. It's not your content. It's not the algorithm. It's not that you need to post even more or spend more money on ads. The real issue, you might have actually skipped one of the most important steps in marketing, which is actually truly, deeply knowing who you're talking to. And listen, I get it. Most businesses don't even realize they're doing this. They assume marketing is about broadcasting, but marketing that actually works, it's about listening. So today I'm going to walk you through these some things that will hopefully change the way that you approach marketing. I'm not talking about extra spending. I'm not talking about doubling down content output, just a shift in how you empathetically, deeply listen to your audience. And my hope is by the end of the episode that you'll know exactly how to deeply, authentically listen to your audience and how that listening is going to help you create content that they actually care about. This is the kind of marketing that not only builds engagement, but builds trust, long-term relationships, which is ultimately everything we're after as businesses. It's going to help to grow your business. So let's dive into it. Number one of the biggest marketing mistakes businesses make. Here's the thing. I can't even count how many times businesses I've spoken with that say, we've been running ads, we've been posting consistently, even working with agencies, and we're seeing zero results. It might sound familiar. And the first thing that I always ask is, well, who's your target audience? And I can't tell you how many times the response is, we're not sure. I don't want anybody to feel bad about that because it happens quite often. And I love when businesses feel open and honest enough to share where they're at. But this is exactly why their marketing isn't working. If you don't know who you're truly talking with, then how can your content connect with anyone? And this happens at every level, from small businesses to micro businesses to medium-sized companies, even massive corporations. I've seen brands dump a lot of dollars into marketing without truly understanding their audience. And when nothing works, they assume the solution is post more ads, more AI-generated content. But the real problem isn't quantity. It's that they never took the time to listen first. Little sidebar here. I just want to bring some clarity here. When I talk about target audiences and speaking with your target audience, I'm not talking about a broad general audience. I'm talking about a completely micro segmented target audience, breaking things down into very specific groups of people. It's important to understand that when we speak to everyone, we speak to nobody. The more in-depth you get in understanding your target audience, the better. And when I say target audience, I don't mean just knowing their age, income, or where they live. That's surface level. I'm talking about creating incredibly detailed buyer personas where you truly understand who they are, their psychographics, their thought processes, their trauma, their history, their dreams, their aspirations, where they are today versus where they are possibly even last month. The goal is to have as many micro-segmented audiences as possible. So that just shows, again, the better you understand them, the more precisely you can create content with them in mind. And again, I'm saying with them because we don't want to create content that speaks at them or over them, but with them, instead of just speaking to the masses and hoping for the best. So when I talk about target audiences throughout this episode, I'm talking about that level of depth, the kind that makes your content resonate, not just reach. Okay, I just wanted to clear that up before we go. So Number two, what it actually means to truly listen. And this is what I feel, this is where the magic lies. So let's talk about what I actually mean when I say listening, because this is where the magic lies. And if you take one thing away from this episode, I truly hope it's this. Most of the time when I talk to teams or businesses about listening, they hear that and they think, yeah, we're doing that. We're doing social listening. We monitor when people talk about us, but that's not what I'm talking about at all. Let me ask you, when was the last time you started a great relationship? When someone was making it all about them, they just wanted you to talk about them the entire time. And then when you did talk about them, they'd respond with talking about how amazing they are. And when I share it like that, can you just hear how social listening tools might not get the entire listening experience correct? The other thing that sometimes I bring up as well is the people that created the social listening tools. What if they aren't quite sure what they should be listening for? And so we just trust these social listening tools. I think these social listening tools are absolutely awesome and I do use them a lot. I just think that we need to remember that actual human listening is essential. And I'm talking about the kind of listening that my wife and my daughters have taught me. Real listening isn't just about hearing words, it's reading between the lines. It's noticing what's not being said. It's the deep breath someone takes before they answer a question. It's their body language shifting when a certain topic comes up, or it's their hesitation, or their excitement, or even their silence. And sometimes it's even their shift from one emoji to another. I remember one time walking into a client meeting and I was super excited about the strategy we're about to present. And before I could even sit down, I asked, how's your day going? And they took a deep breath. And I think you all can understand, we've all been there where someone just takes a deep breath. And it was one of those breaths that I knew something was wrong. They didn't have to say anything. That breath told me everything. And in that moment, I realized this meeting isn't going to go how I had planned. And I had a choice. I could barrel ahead with my own agenda, or I could truly listen to them and understand where they're at. So I scrapped my whole plan and I just asked them what was going on. And it completely changed the conversation. The entire strategy shifted from that moment of real listening. And that client, we still work together to this day and we talk about that. So now imagine if businesses did that same level of listening and they applied it to their marketing. Imagine if they stopped assuming and they actually paid attention to what their audiences are already telling them. That's the difference between content that flops and content that connects. Now, on social media, obviously, you don't have the opportunity to see or to hear a tone of voice or to see body language, but you do have patterns. You have what people engage with, you have what they ignore. And if you're really paying attention to, you can really pick up on those little nuances, those same cues. Number three. So here's 3 simple steps to instantly improve engagement through listening. Number 1, be curious. Just be curious. Curiosity is not about proving yourself right. It's about seeking to understand. And I really, truly feel like the best marketers are the ones, they aren't the ones, actually, I meant to say, the best marketers aren't the ones who assume what their audience wants. They're the ones who ask, what am I missing? What do they care about? Where are they at in life? They use actual empathy. They start asking why, like my kids do, like my girls do. My daughters ask why constantly, and it fires me up because it forces me to dig deeper. And that's exactly what you need to do with your audience. Stop trying to prove yourself right. Stop trying to validate what you think you know. Go in with 0 assumptions and just get curious. I love it. I love when my daughters will say something to me and I'll respond and they're like, Dad, they'll ask me why. And it really makes me truly dig deep into finding out that why. And that's where the magic lies. So step 2, observe before we speak. Go to where your audience is active. See what they're engaging with and ask, why would they engage with that? What posts do they comment on? What posts do they not comment on? What topics get them fired up? What do they ignore? Why did they ignore it? What does this emoji mean? Why did they comment on the last post that I thought I had created for them, but this post I created, they didn't engage at all? Or they just left an emoji this time? If you don't know the answer to any of these questions, then you need to ask why. Because when you do this right, your audience literally tells you what kind of content to create. They show you the exact content they want to see. Marketing isn't just about creating content, it's about knowing what your target audience truly cares about first and why. So, step 3. Use AI to validate, not replace your insights. Now, once you've done the human listening, once you've really observed, you've taken notes and you've paid attention, this is where AI comes in. And I love it. I use it all the time. I'm going to assume, though, again, at this point that you've already created detailed prompts for your target audience. And if you haven't, you need to do that. So go back and get started on that. This is where you need to go deeper. AI works best when you feed it with precise, meaningful inputs. So before you even plug anything in, make sure that you've defined your target audience beyond surface level detail. You should be prompting AI with deep insights about their behaviors, their struggles, their desires, their patterns, and more. And I love using AI, but it is not a replacement for human listening. But it can be a great way to check your own bias, and I do that quite often. So here's how to use it. Take everything that you've listened and noticed about your audience, what they engage with, what they ignore, what they talk about, and feed that into AI. Number two, then ask AI. This is what I've learned about my target audience. Am I missing anything? Is there any patterns that I might not be seeing? And just see what it says. And number three, let AI suggest those insights, but always check them against real human behavior. Check them against your gut. AI can be a brilliant assistant, but you're the only one who truly understands your target audience. I hope. This way, AI becomes a tool that helps refine your marketing, but the real insights still come from your human ability to listen. I'll add one more thing. Is listening truly listening if you're not putting into action what you're hearing? That's really resonated and always stuck with me. When you're actively listening, then we're going to put into action what we're hearing. So here's my challenge to you. This week, I would encourage you to pick one specific target audience segment and just get incredibly curious about them. Observe how they engage, what they talk about, when they talk about it, where they talk about it, why they talk about it, what excites them, what doesn't, and then use that information to create just one piece of content that speaks directly with them, not at them, not over them, not to them, with them. And if you do that, I promise you're going to see a massive difference, because when your audience feels truly understood, they engage, they respond, and they connect. Okay, I know that I pushed a lot out there in a short amount of time, but if you've made it this far, I can't thank you enough for staying, guys. I really hope this content continues to add value to your life. And if it does, please give us a like, share us with your community. And if you have any ideas for topics you'd like me to cover, let me know. If you'd like to be a guest on the podcast, hit me up. My email is bork, B-O-R-C-K, @theog.co. I'll make sure that I put that in the show notes. And also, I just want to thank again the One Group Agency for their incredible support. This podcast is not possible without them. Check them out at theog.co. And if this episode added value to your life, leave a review, share it with businesses that need it. That's what this podcast is all about helping real businesses with real marketing insights that actually work. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Be kind and stay curious.